Um, yeah. Oh, all right. The players are off here. Phil
Fantastic.
with a Pluto Delta to start. Um, so let me just make sure I have Cardboard Live updated here. I know you usually play. So okay, just for everybody, just so everybody knows, what kind of decks do you usually play?
I am a cloud post. I am a cloud post fanatic. I love big mana. Like so, in modern, I played a lot of Tron, and I would swing back and forth between Eldrazi Tron and regular traditional Tron. But in Legacy, I'm known for playing lots of cloud post, and I've top aided a bunch of tournaments with cloud post as well.
Nice. And you play mostly Legacy and Modern. Is that right?
Yeah. So I tried to get into Pioneer, but yeah, mostly modern and legacy. I tried Vintage for the first time at Eternal Weekend, and of course, I took the colorless deck of choice, Shops. But with a little bit of a spice in there as well. I played Delta Forge Master in there, and tutoring up Blight Stills, so it was kind of fun.
Nice. Yeah. So your deck for tonight was kind of like Cloud Post with a bunch of wacky new cards, but
Yeah.
if you and you were playing like 80 cards, you were just trying to have fun. I get it. But out of all the cards in Commander Legends, though, how what are you really have your eye on, and what are you going to test in a serious way going forward?
Of course, of course. Well, I'll be honest. I don't think there's any cards in Commander Legends that has been spoiled so far that actually would go into the green shell of Clubhost because mono green Clubhost is actually significantly different in play style to colorless Clubhost. Like now, I'm more of when I say Clubhost, there's two types of Clubhost decks, right? There's mono green, which is more of a reactive version of getting your land in play. You got crop rotation, you have elvish reclaimers. Like you're trying to do it as fast as you can, right? And then you have ways to interact with the opponent trying to wasteland you or do counter spells and whatnot. And then you have prime time and green suns, right? So it's going fast as it can. But in colorless cloud post, you're trying to prison and slow down the game association. And the I guess the Facebook community for Cloud Post, they've been doing a lot of like playing spheres and Trinity spheres and Dawn of Amosness to just completely slow down the game. But in regards to Commander Legends for green, I don't think it's so fine tuned that I don't think there's anything that people could play in the green version, to be honest. Just because Green Sun's Prime Time, Elvish Reclaimer, Exhibition Maps, Crop Rotation, everything gets a land
Right, right,
basically.
right.
So, and the only thing that really affects anything in that set is either that court of bounty, sorry, that
Yeah.
tries to cheating creatures, or maybe maybe there's the cascade guy, and like it is double green, so that's somewhat a problem in Clubhouse because you can live off one green and still get through the whole entire game there. But double green is generally reserved for prime time, and generally you would get prime time through green suns. But if you have double green in your mana base in play, then you're at a pretty good position. So needing to cast the quadruple cascade creature really just like it's a win more, right? But for 10 mana you already have Ulamog and Kozilek,
Yeah,
so
I think you're better off resolving Ulamog or Kozilek than Apex Predator or whatever it's called.
hmm
Um, what about as far as cards that you might not put in your own decks, but that you expect you might run into in your opponent's decks from Commander Legends?
yeah, from Commander Legends. To refresh my memory, I guess the only call out cards I've been seeing that people have been talking about in the context of Legacy, if we're sort of trying to talk about that, is people will be talking about that blue enchantment that was played last game, right? The one that mills
Court
and
of
stuff.
Cunning, Court of Cunning.
Court of
Yeah,
exactly the court, but like Monarchy is so dangerous, right? The only reason the only Monarch, normally it's only a one of that gets seen play in Legacy is Palace Jailer, is it?
yeah, yeah.
And that's because D&T has such a good angle of being able to tax the opponent, stop them from trying to get Monarchy back. Also, it has Flicker Wisp. It also
Yeah.
has it itself. Is two carded. It's
It
instant
removes your
value.
opponent's opportunity to take the Monarch.
Exactly, yeah. And
All on its
D&T
own.
does. D&T has trouble drawing cards. And like if you look at the 80 card Yorion version that they play now, they're playing four Spirits of the Labyrinth, which means like no players can't draw additional cards, right?
Right.
So they're like, if we're not drawing cards, we're not going to let anyone draw cards, and if we are drawing cards, it's going to be really hard for you to be able to remove that ability to stop us from drawing cards, which is Monarchy, right? There's no way to get rid of an emblem these days. You can only just swap it. And yeah, so D&T is the only card that plays any form of Monarch that I'm aware of in Legacy. So I don't think any of these cards will actually see play.
Okay. Um, so given that you don't see any opportunity for any likelihood that you'll run into a lot of Commander Legends cards,
Mhm.
we are playing with Commander Legends cards right now, though. Krark the
Yes.
Thumbless in
Oh
Jesse's
yes,
list,
yeah.
and
A lot of
he
hype.
also has Fall from Favor in the sideboard, which is the Monarch tap enchantment.
Actually, you're right, right. That's actually no, I forgot about that one. I just had to refresh my memory. That blue one's interesting, right? It's a similar vein as Palace Jailer, where you get the Monarch and you also disable one of your opponent's creatures. Most likely, you're tapping their creatures, right? So that
Right.
could be seeing play potentially. Um, and I don't know, like there's a lot of brewing that comes out of like these kind of sets, right? Like True Name Nemesis, for example. I wouldn't exactly call it brewing, but they made the card for a different format, and then people have found ways to play it. Same with like there are certain random cards like that get played in those wacky T2 T3 decks that sometimes you see randomly get like Ajani's Ravager, right? That
Yeah.
that card is
Yeah.
built for a different format, yet people are playing it in Legacy to some good success actually. Like, I think
Yeah.
in the Legacy Challenge or whatever, one sort of big tournament,
Yeah.
the eight Blood Moon Stompy, Blood Moon Stompy is an aggro deck now. How crazy is that, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's been quite a few of those over the last couple of years, like Leovold. Leovold was
No,
a conspiracy card.
exactly.
True Name Nemesis. Yeah, we could list them all. Palace Jailer, obviously.
hmm
I'm hoping more come from this set. Allosaurus Shepherd. Allosaurus
Yep,
Shepherd's another
yep.
one.
hmm
Um, Allosaurus Shepherd, I guess, more clearly was designed with legacy in
Oh,
mind, but still.
actually, I do have a call out. Actually, I think the most important card that will
Uh
come out of
oh.
this set that will affect the legacy will be Opposition Agent.
Yeah, that's the next one I was going to get to. We're going to see Opposition Agent next round. Um,
Okay, super
but
excited.
um, so I'm playing in a paper webcam league, like a
hmm
private league with a
hmm
bunch of our NYC guys,
hmm
and I'm gonna find a way to have opposition agent. If the people in the league are watching, mute this part. um, I'm gonna find a way to have opposition agent in my deck and stifle. I think that's gonna get me there. Do you think
Yeah,
that's a good
so
game plan?
oh, for sure, for sure. Like, so I was actually I'm in quite contact with I don't know if you know the legacy player Ripple Cheap. He's quite popular with
Yeah. I do know of this person. Yeah.
yeah, the Black Curses, and he was saying to me, I was like, is this? Do you think this is a staple in your deck? And he's like, he's trying to compare it to Ashiok, where Ashiok also is an anti-search card. It can be played in black or blue even. But he's like, the fact that it has flash, it's a body, and just stops searching for the opponent is insane. And I was just like, fair enough, fair enough. So he definitely thinks that he's going to be playing it in that deck.
Yeah, and I have to triple check because I forgot, but I think it's a rogue, right? I had a blue black
Correct.
Delver deck with a bunch of rogues, and
hmm
the Death Touch rogue from Core 21 that mills. And
hmm
I think I might try to find a way to have some rogue synergy with that. True name, Brazenbauer, the rogue from Core 21, Thieves Guild
hmm
Enforcer or whatever it's called, right?
Nice, nice.
I think that's where I'm going. I think that kind of deck is where I'm going with my brewing going forward. I'm not. You're the post player. I'm the blue black X player.
Very spicy, and I love it. And I'm assuming four caverns, naming rogues all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love it.
All right,
Um,
I'll have to switch decks now because the whole league is watching and they now know what deck I'm gonna play.
For sure, for sure. And that's the cool thing about actually I actually got a donation deck recently from one of my viewers. They asked me to play Blue Black Rogues in Modern,
Oh,
and so I'm
nice.
excited to try out that. Like there are a few random flash cards that started getting printed in recent sets where it's like, every time you cast a flash card, you draw a card and lose a life or something. Or like
Yeah,
flash
yeah.
cards are uncounterable. It's like, oh wow, they're trying to make a tribe of flash
One
now,
of my
which is
favorite
not.
one of my favorite cards from the last couple of years, Brineborn Cutthroat. That's what it's called, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brineborn
yeah, yeah.
Cutthroat. I played
Two
the hell out of
mana,
that
two
card.
one, and you
Yeah,
get to
yeah, yeah,
counter when you play a spell on the opponent's turn. Like, oh man,
yeah.
I love it.
I was running that in Modern.
Yeah, it's a good card. It's a good card.
Yeah.
Like it gets free value. Like it's like Young Pyromancer. Anything that gets free value,
Hmm.
with a certain condition is just really great.
Yeah. Um, back to the game. So
Yeah.
much has happened. I felt like we were still in our introduction, but this game is well underway. There's two bitter blossoms in play, a whole bunch of fairies.
Mhm.
Jace
Mhm.
is in play. Both players have fetched and forced and fought hard so far. Dreadhorde trying to flashback Bolt right now and Cling to Dust response.
So I want to sort of point that out about Clean the Dust. Like, so that came out of nowhere for me in Legacy. I was just like, wow, this card that's in standard. I think it's a standard card, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
um, and it like people were just like, it's escape is a broken mechanic. Let's play this instant speed escape card, and it's been really good in certain control decks, right?
Yeah, Cling to Dust. Um, it's become a good tool in Legacy. A lot of um, I mean, the decks with black, obviously, because you gotta have black mana. But a lot of the decks that are control decks, that are mid-range decks that exist in Legacy, are running this card in the sideboard, at
Hmm.
least, to handle Uro, to handle Reanimator crap, to handle Loam stuff,
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
handle um, what other graveyard stuff is there? Well, Hogak,
Yeah,
whatever.
Gak. Yep.
So many uses. Or just to gain a little bit of advantage, stopping like a Dreadhorde Arcanist trigger right here, and draw
Hmm.
some extra cards, gain some extra life over the course of a game, and grind.
Oh, for sure,
Um,
for sure.
great card. So
Yeah,
it's either,
definitely.
yeah.
It's
Go ahead.
providing a lot of value. Like the fact that it has so many good clauses on it, like gaining life, drawing cards, and it can be reflashed multiple times. It adds a lot of depth.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. What? How did all those fairies die, by the way?
He vapor snagged one of them,
Oh, okay.
uh,
Oh, and they
and then
they blocked or something. Oh, okay.
uh,
They triple
yeah,
blocked, and then he bounced
yeah,
one, so one died. Okay, gotcha.
yeah, yeah. He triple attacked, I think, and then bound. Yeah, because the yeah, I think because when you do the point to a token, I think that was the whole like blocking it.
Yep.
Um, I'm curious about life totals here because the double bitter blossom's quite a gamble of a play here.
Yeah. So Phil's at 9, Jesse's at 13.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yeah. Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to wondering what the like you said it like. What do you think when you resolve that second bitter blossom? I wonder what was going through Phil's mind where he's thinking, okay, this is the plan now. Um,
Well, with Cling to Dust online, you could gain some life back
hmm,
and
hmm,
start out grinding the Delver deck, getting some attacks in with 4, 5, 6 bitter fairies, while also
hmm.
having blockers.
Yeah,
I like that
definitely. And
plan.
I think that's kind of relevant here because Delver being essentially an aggro deck with counter spells, right? A very good tempo aggro deck where they can go turn one Delver, turn two either Young Pyromancer or Dreadhorde, and turn three followed up with an Ochre or a Tamagotchi or something, something crazy. These fairies, these tokens are quite annoying, right? They can block a Delver, they
Yeah.
can block a Dreadhorde. Dreadhorde, yes, he can attack and not get killed. It is quite annoying for them.
Ooh, another Cling to Dust on the Vapor Snag
Mm,
here.
see, Clear Dust is four, right? Escape, 4 mana and 4 cards, or is it 5 cards?
Yeah. Well, it's 5 cards, I think, but 4 mana. But he cast that one from hand, and it got
Gotcha,
forced.
gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Yep.
He hard cast force.
I'm excited to see the the goblin, the card flippy thingy, the coin flippy thingy.
Yeah, I'm hoping that gets into play.
Yeah.
Um, okay, Phil now down to 6 after that. Are you able to see chat, Lee?
I can, yeah.
Uh, there's a question in chat. Maybe you want to take it
Okay,
from Mr.
from
Fringe.
Mr. Fringe. Oh, the one about Grixis control?
Yeah, yeah.
Or, yep. Okay, chat. Mr. Fringe says in chat, thoughts on the new Grixis control list that are more Arcanist Pyromancer with Stormcaller Mage. Curious if Stormcaller is actually good, but I see in the deck that a bunch of therapy is. Yeah, so with Stormcaller, people just get really excited about value, right? Because Stormcaller combos with mostly Village Rites and Cabal Therapy, I guess, in a way. Um,
Yeah.
and people in Legacy, like that's all that Legacy is all about, right? It's all about getting increment value or getting value over your opponent and then eventually beating the game. It's not like in Modern where if you can just resolve a big threat, and obviously Force of Will doesn't exist, then you have an insurmountable advantage in the game. In Legacy, Force Will exists, so if you try to go all in on a big value play, they'll just go nope and that. But with Grixis control, the Village Rights slash the Cabal Therapy with Stormcaller is something that is like popular streamers or just like Grixis lovers of all time have been trying to brew. I don't think it has really gotten off that well. According to Anurag, I watch him a lot on stream. And he's just said like, I tried so hard to make this work, but it just couldn't work. And if the players that play a lot test it and they just say it doesn't work, most likely it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Seagate Stormcaller is a cool card, though.
It is a very cool card. I think in my own mind, I was like, can I be janky and try to play it with Vile, right? And it's even more value. Vile it
Yeah.
in and Village ride it out.
Okay, so here's the Cling to Dust flashback here with Escape.
Hmm.
Phil gaining some life. Going
So
back up
it's
to.
one thing I noticed about Phil's sort of deck is that because he's playing back to basics in the main, he was relying a lot on his basics, and I think I got a free win in one of my games against him when he just was stuck on double swamp. He's like, I don't have an island,
Yeah.
and now I can't do anything. So I was like, yeah. So he has taken that gamble of playing basics to try to back to basics and basics to hopefully resolve all his spells. Because Jace is a double blue spell, and you got a bunch of other cards that hopefully are not that many double blue. Like Brazen Borrow is a double blue, but you're really just petty hefting it first, right?
Is Phil uh, kind of stubbornly playing a. Oh, what happened here?
I think he got it with the fairies.
Oh, okay. Jesse
Yeah,
scooped. Gotcha.
because Rugdelver doesn't play that many basics. I think at max one maybe. But D&T is, if you look at it on paper, you go, how does this deck exist in Legacy? Right? Like it's just
That's
a
kind of
bunch of
true, yeah.
creatures. It's a bunch of creatures, and 89, maybe 95% of the deck is probably modern legal, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
but like the reason it's so good is one, people just learn how to play it so well. Like they fine tune it and play it, and they know their angles, they know their percentages, they know exactly what to do on every window that it just starts winning tournaments. And look, funny enough, ironically enough, D&T won Rashad and Port at Eternal Weekend. Like
Yep.
they think the irony there is great.
Yep. Um. Okay, so we can sit here all night probably and name legacy archetypes because there are many of them. We can name Pox. We can name every sub-genre of Delver deck. We can go on and on. I guess what I was getting at, though, is like which of these decks is going to see any upgrades from Commander Legends? Like you're talking about Operations Agent, possibly Court of Cunning, but, you know,
Hmm.
I personally don't feel like Court of Cunning really is going to see a lot of legacy play. We'll see. I may be proven wrong later, but
Hmm.
um, who do you think is going to get the biggest bump here?
Um, I'm just sort of skimming through the cards now, and I'm just trying to get a refresher here. But like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the cards are built around specifically for like Commander, obviously because it's Commander Legends,
Yeah.
and I'm still waiting for that big game changer. The only one for me is probably Opposition Agent for me, and like I like to be very open-minded and think like maybe this card will have a chance. But for myself, I just think potentially maybe some control decks might get some good cards out of it, but I haven't seen anything being too impactful yet.
That's fair. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I,
there
I
could be something crazy. Like there are some good reprints that came out of it, so I'm super excited for Forbidden Legends existing. Apart from the new cards, the ones that got reprinted is gonna like open up a lot of great stuff for people getting into the game.
yeah, yeah, for sure. A lot of cool characters brought back, all that.
Hmm.
Uh, being that we're 90s MTG, a lot of 90s characters are coming back with their cards for the
Exactly,
first time. When did you
definitely.
start playing Magic, by the way?
I started in competitively playing in RTR Theros,
Hmm.
so probably 7 8 years ago ish. But it's kind of funny because I learned about Magic back in. Do you remember an old Xbox game that Magic the Gathering, where it was called? I think it was called not Jewels of the Planeswalker, but it was like it sort
How
of looked
far
like
back are you thinking?
not that far back, but I'm
Okay.
talking about it was an Xbox game where it felt like Plants vs Zombies, right?
Plants
Where
vs Zombies. Okay.
you have Chandra on one side, you have Jace on the other side, and then you press buttons and it summons creatures and they run at each other. I don't know what the name was, but
Huh.
that's when I first learnt about Magic the Gathering, and you basically summon creatures in a 3D environment. It looks like a chessboard, and they run at each other, and like it's like the cards sort of hover at the bottom of the screen, and like the timers happen, and like, anyways, I was like, oh, so that's what Magic was, and I thought Magic was sort of like Lord of the Rings, and I was like, oh, this is like a cool game. It looks like they've just taken the the goblins and wizard theme and put it into an Xbox game, and that's when I learned about Magic. But I didn't know it was a card game at then. I was just like, this is a cool video game, and then I moved on.
Interesting.
I went back to Dota. I played Dota 1 very very seriously back in the day, um, and then I came back at RTR. My friend's like, this is a card game. You should play it, and then I was like, sure, and then I got hooked. I didn't know that Innistrad was a good set, and I decided to just like hang out and watch my friends play in like draft and like hang out in the LGS. But then I was like, I'm gonna get my own cards and play, and that's when I started playing in Theros and Return to
Nice.
Ravnica.
Nice. I think a lot of people started around that time, like 2012 to 2014, saw like a big boost in the amount of Magic players that exist.
Yep.
A lot of new people, not a lot of new people came to the game.
Yeah, chat is saying Magic the Gathering Battlegrounds. Yes, I think that's it. Correct. Yeah, Battlegrounds is what
Oh,
it was
okay,
called. Um,
okay, cool. Yeah, chat's probably right. Calvert Fluno in the chat. What's up? Yeah, I remember you from YouTube. Many people in chat right now have found us through YouTube. If you found us through YouTube, make yourself known in chat. Say hello to each other. Appreciate you.
Definitely, definitely. And you have a
Um,
YouTube channel, right? You upload all your stuff to YouTube. What is the link for that? What is the URL for that?
for for mine?
Yeah,
Oh,
for the channel.
oh yeah, 90smtg on YouTube. YouTube.com
Awesome,
slash
awesome.
90smtg. Yeah, same thing.
It was a
Um,
segue. It was a segue to the channel.
oh
I'm
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
get you
yeah.
the shout
I,
out.
I I wasn't sure what you were talking about for a second because I was looking at Magic the Gathering Battlegrounds and I wasn't sure if chat said something else.
Gotcha,
Um,
gotcha.
yeah, we actually started as a YouTube channel,
Oh,
end of
gotcha,
last
gotcha.
year, just YouTube, no streaming, and started streaming after New York City shut down. Yeah, he was setting me up. Yeah, I missed it. After New York City shut down in around April or May, I think.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
so pretty new to streaming.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, YouTube content is kind of important these days. Like even before COVID, I think that like I'm a UX designer myself, so I figured,
Hmm.
the future of media and creating content for people is something that everyone craves for. Everyone has a supercomputer in their pocket, right? And it's just like I want to
Yep.
watch Magic anytime and every time, and I can download videos offline and just do it. So
Yeah.
this is where we're at now, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So So in the game here, we've got an interesting angle here. Like it's the whole like I have a Delver that I think I potentially flipped on maybe turn one or turn two, and there's two Strixes staring at him. So he's just like, what do I do?
Yeah. 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 Um, is there any? way to get rid of these Strixes in Jesse's sideboard. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't think Delver plays any um, Plague Engineers, but it's like, yeah, I saw that Jesse was playing Surgical Main. I was like, whoa, that's really aggressive.
Yeah, Jesse Ma almost always has a surgical in the main. That's just his thing.
Okay.
uh, he likes the surgical people. It's very important to him.
Oh, Clothis, that's a way to get around it.
Oh yeah, it is. Clothis will do it. Clothis does work. Sunny
Yeah,
goes shopping. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Sorry, what were you saying?
Clothis is. I was saying Clothis is like when I first saw that card, I was like, this card is amazing. It's a god. You know, it's not a creature, and it's in my colors. My first deck in standard was red green aggro, red green monsters, Pelucranos, Stormbrush Dragon. Oh, all the great cards.
Wait, so you started playing roughly around Theros. Did the new Theros set do it for you?
Not really, no. I write content, right? I don't do it for a living, but I write content to a lot of sources and for like my blogs and Twitters and my Patreon and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I post like new spoilers and all the cool stuff that people want to know Magic about, right? Keep people informed in the loop for them and sort of curate the content for them. But when the new Theos came out, I was just like, I knew about all the cards, but I was just like, I'm not that excited about
Mm-hmm.
this set. But the reason I loved Old Theros is because I love the whole devotion mechanic. It's like it's the Johnny. I think it's the Johnny. I think that's the term. That term where like you just really want to play big monsters and go really big, right? And have that
Yeah,
glorious moment.
the
Um,
monstrosity creatures and stuff.
yeah, yeah, and just like
Monstrous. Yeah.
like Nykthos was my jam. Like Master of
Mm.
Waves. Mono green, making all the manners, and like that's where my dreams all came true. So, um, but yeah, no big mana, no gigantic things, and the most recent one. So I was like, yeah, that's okay, I guess. But yeah,
Oh, I get
all
it.
right. So the typical Strix, pinging in, getting that chip damage in, and then locking people down with the back to basics and the setting up your hand with brainstorm here. I think feels got a good plan going on.
How does Jesse get out of this back to basics? Does he have any way?
Uh, I think a back to basics resolving against Rug is one of the worst things that could ever happen to a Rug player because they are greatly affected by enchantments, being back to basics or a carpet of flowers. And then wait, hold up, he shouldn't have untapped.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
It's like no. But yeah, I think this Clothis is definitely going to try to bring them back into play here, but it's very hard, very hard.
Yeah. So he does have pyroblasts. He does have wilt in the sideboard. I mean, I'm assuming he brought these cards in for game two.
Hmm hmm
Um, and fall from favor. I don't think you want that card here, but
So
who
the
knows?
problem with those cards, but like Wilt is obviously played because 1 inch cycles, and also it's not 1 mana, right? So Chalice is a big deal for rug players. But the problem is like you tap out to try to blow up the back to basics, and if it gets countered, then you've just stone range yourself for 2 mana.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Yeah,
I
it's true.
mean?
It's true.
So it's like it's a really big gamble. You have to have the days or the slash the counter spells, and that's another line that Jesse could do here. He could daze a spell, even though Field could play it and then replay the land.
Yep. Agreed. Oh, it's still Phil's turn. Okay.
I
Is
think
this
it's Jason.
Jace?
Oh no, it's the Kling.
We've
It
seen
seems like
Kling do a lot
Phil.
of work.
Yeah, I was gonna say Phil is definitely relying on the graveyard a lot here. He's doing a lot of like I don't think you have graveyard hate because you're trying to deal with my creatures that are like pinging you, chipping away at you. So I'm just gonna go ham on getting card advantage from my graveyard spells because like he's got lots of snapcasters in the main, and he's got cling, and he's got all the things. Drown the lock. Yeah, it's a very graveyard centric deck.
Yeah. What do you think of these two decks? Any assessments?
Um, I I mean I think the rug deck wasn't too experimental. Yes, the the coin flipping guy. What's his
Yeah.
name? Crack. I think the crack was like interesting, and it was actually a little bit of a conversation on Twitter. I think one of the pro players actually tweeted and said, I actually think this has potential. People need to test it more and figure out if it's right. But there you go. Jesse's just did the suggested line that I said. Daze the cling, and then Phil didn't pay the days because he doesn't want to tap his UC, so then he just replayed the vault. Um, but yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. I think that it's it's it is what it is.
Um, yeah, Clothis has not done much so far, but Jesse still has 11 life to Phil's 9. Is that right? Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, that's because like Calixtus keeps eating spells, right? Eating Phil's spells, and then the Strix would ping for 2, and then he would get it back. So like, I guess it's kept him alive, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't
Strixes are
think
still
Phil.
attacking.
I don't. Apart from Brazen Brawler, I don't think Phil has a way to deal with the Calixtus.
Mm, yeah, does he have any? Hmm.
It's only Petty Theft. I think Petty Theft is the only way to bounce it back and then try to counter it again.
Yeah. Well, bouncing it back here makes it really hard to recast and risky with the
That's
back
true.
to
That's true.
basics in play.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah.
Even a spell pierce shuts it down.
Yeah, I think Phil was trying to go really cool in the theme um of like trying to keep monarchy. That's why he has the bounce spells. That's why he has like back to basics. Trying to get all that value. So I really like their angle and appreciation Phil's going here. I think with Jesse's it still feels more competitive. And again, it's fine to add those cards and get there, um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I just feel like it's still wrong. It's still wrong, Silver.
yeah. I mean, as you know, we kind of had a challenge tonight. Try some Commander Legends cards. It was mandatory that you had Commander Legends cards in your deck. So,
Gotcha.
everybody brewed up some decks and we're having fun here.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the main point of testing, right? You just had to try out new things. Ooh, Veil. The spell.
Oh man, another spell pierce. Ouch.
Double spell phase? Yeah. Really wants his Jace to resolve.
Yes, side Norna. Clothis is a creature on the stack. I think you're right.
Yeah, I was actually when I was playing against some of my local friends in the LGSs and stuff. One thing that the local lands player would always play was that they would get their uh, tabernacle lands that would use to pay for their creatures, and they'll just leave the land like forever tapped below their creature. And I was like, that's a very interesting way of doing that sort of like no teeth, right? And this is exactly what Phil's doing here. It's just like this land is never going to untap. I'm just going to leave it tapped under my basic.
Yep. Ooh, Force stops the Pyroblast on back to
The Jace.
basics.
Oh, back to basic. Yeah, you're right. Jace, sorry.
I mean, I hope it was on back to basics because that's what makes the most sense, right?
It's true. It's true.
I think if you're Jesse, you're desperate to remove that back to basics right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I guess they do have a way, like, I mean, they had Wilt and back to and Pyroblast, I guess, but yeah. I'm just so used to seeing Carpet come up against Rug, so I didn't see Pyroblast come in. That's why.
yeah. Um, and I know when you were playing your match last round, you said you hadn't played paper. When's the last time you played paper?
Okay. Most likely probably February. I went to GP Atlanta. Was it February or it might have been Phoenix? There was a GP sometime in February, and that was the last time I played.
Okay, so it's been digital
Yeah.
all year basically.
Oh, actually, no, my mistake. I did play like might have been an hour. Zerta when Zerta was legal in Legacy, I played like maybe 1 or 2 games just for the Card Kingdom demonstration stream. They'll try to like show that people were playing Paper Magic on their stream,
Oh, okay.
and I did like 1 or 2 matches, but I was mostly there to commentate. So I just did it to just get it started because some of the other players were still getting ready. But yeah, that wasn't doing anything. Yeah, I think it was like just prison, colorless cloud post prison with Zerta versus Espervile. So yeah, that was just sort of an entertainment match.
Nice. Yep, we're getting as much paper magic in as we can here.
That's great. That's great. And the fact that it's, it's all remote. You can play from anywhere. Like I'm currently situated in Seattle, and you're on the East Coast. So this is fantastic.
Yeah, we've had people from all over the world so far. I think the furthest person away so far, the record is Dukes on Twitch, who is in Brisbane.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm actually born and raised in Sydney, so
Okay.
I was so happy to see some Australian representation on the stream. I was like, that's
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
He's
that's
probably
true. Yeah.
taken off work as well because I think his Monday, Wednesday would be his next day during work time. So,
Yeah, yeah. So it was Wednesday 8 p.m. for us,
hmm
but it was Thursday 10 a.m. for him.
hmm
Luckily, he was able to move his work days around and play on stream.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
Yeah. How'd he go? I didn't get to catch the last match, so.
let me think now. He beat me. He
hmm
beat I think Jesse, who's playing right now,
Yep. I saw those
and
on.
then
Yep.
lost to Roland, who's playing next round. I think so. He went
Okay.
2-1. I think that's what it was.
Nice. Yeah, I
Um,
um I saw how Roland is like the end boss as people were hyping it up in on the Twitters. Is he like the 3-0 champion at the moment, so people will verse him last, and like whoever 3-0s this becomes the boss for next week? Is that how it is, or he's just always at the end boss?
so we kind of have we do two shows a week, right? We have Monday and then we have Wednesday. Monday usually ends up serving kind of like a qualifier sort of
hmm
thing, where the winner is just the winner for the evening, and then the
Gotcha.
winner for the evening gets to play, depending on the week, on Wednesday's show, round one. So then on Wednesday's show, we have 4 rounds, and that's like our competitive show. There's no like Apex Predator Cascade decks on the Wednesday show.
Exactly
Everybody's
right.
playing to win, you know.
Of course.
Less fooling around. Um, and then on Wednesday, whoever comes out on top after the 4 rounds is our Monarch, our NYC Eternal Group Champion.
hmm
There's so many titles at this point, but really it's just the person on the top of the bracket,
Gotcha.
and they hold that down for the following week. And Roland is currently our champion. So
Nice. That's
that's where
awesome.
that is.
Sweet. That's good to know. Like, I know that there was some sort of system there. I just wasn't too familiar. I just normally just tune in and watch the good old games. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah,
Playing Magic.
yeah. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. We've had, and the journey all the way up the bracket to the top to get to that to get to at least to finals and then to win it. It's a long way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long way.
Definitely, yeah.
So it's been
This
fun.
uh, this closest definitely kept Jesse alive for a long time.
It
Like,
has.
I was thinking, like, oh, it's gonna get some value and gain some life, but it's, Phil can't deal with it. So it's just kept Jesse alive.
Yep. It's enough. But I don't see how Jesse wins here.
hmm
Do
hmm
you?
Uh, I don't know like. All right, so Phil's on 6.
Mm-hmm. All
Oh,
right.
there's the vault.
There's no way that's resolving, right?
Plus stop.
Oh
Nope.
my goodness.
That's the biggest flex ever. Like, yeah, you can't pay for this. And it is, yep.
Oh, just this brainstorm resolving too. Oh man.
And like, even though they're unglued full art basics, Phil. Normally, I'd make the joke of, oh, looks like Phil's playing limited here, but no, he has full art unglued basics,
Yeah.
altered unglued basics. That's even better.
Yeah, there's quite a few alters on the table, I guess, right? Back to basics, Fluster, Polluted Delta, Beltful Strix,
Yeah,
Snapcaster,
during
all altered.
during our game, Phil said that he had altered his whole entire deck for top, and then when top got banned, he was like really sad.
Yeah. There's a funny clip about that somewhere on our YouTube channel. I'll find it one day and
Nice,
repost it
nice.
or something.